Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're diving into the engines that power AI's ability to learn, the optimizers. Now, this is a story about human cleverness for sure, but it takes this amazing turn, leading us to a future where AI might just be our best inventor.
Yeah, let that sink in for a second. This very question is really at the core of the next big leap in artificial intelligence. And to get why, we've got to trace the evolution of this one critical piece of the puzzle, the optimizer.
So our story kicks off with the absolute bedrock, the first tool in every machine learning model's kit. It's a simple, super intuitive, and totally essential method called gradient descent. The basic idea is it's beautifully simple. Imagine you're a hiker, okay? And you're blindfolded, trying to find the lowest point in a valley. What do? At every step, you feel the ground, and you just move in the steepest downhill direction you can find. That's pretty much it. That, in a nutshell, is gradient descent.
This graph here gives you a great visual of that journey. That vertical axis, that's the model's error. The lower the better, right? The whole goal is to follow this curve all the way down to find that sweet spot at the bottom, which is the best possible performance we can get.
But, of course, this simple approach has its problems. If our hiker hits a long, flat plateau, well, those little steps get tiny and progress just grinds to a halt. On the flip side, if the valley walls are super steep, they might take this huge leap and completely overshoot the bottom, just bouncing chaotically from one side to the other. Not good.
So, to fix this, researchers borrowed a concept from, basic physics, momentum. And this totally changed the game for our digital hiker.
So instead of a hiker taking one step at a time, just picture a ball rolling down that same valley. It builds up speed, right? That lets it just coast right over those flat areas. And that momentum, it also smooths out the whole journey, preventing those chaotic bounces and making the process way faster and more stable. But here's the catch. Sometimes that ball can build up a little too much speed. That speed can become a real liability, causing it to roll right past the bottom of the valley and shoot up the other side, completely missing the target. So yeah, we fixed one problem, but we kind of created another one.
The solution was this brilliant little tweak called Nesterov momentum. Think of it as a look-before-you-leap approach. So instead of just blindly rolling, the algorithm first takes a little peek ahead based on its current momentum. It checks the slope from that future spot before it commits to a move, letting it make a much smarter, more corrected step. This helps our rolling ball kind of anticipate the bottom of the valley and know when to slow down.
All right, so this whole evolution of smarter and smarter steps eventually led us to Adam, an optimizer so good it became the industry standard for years. But even Adam had this subtle kind of hidden issue that needed just one more clever fix.
Adam was a huge leap forward, no question. It combined momentum with what's called adaptive learning rates, basically the ability to take big steps on easy terrain and small, careful steps on the tricky parts. The problem was with a technique called weight decay, which is there to stop the model from just memorizing the training data. The way Adam applied this penalty was actually messing with its own smart stepping ability.
And the solution was Adam W. That W is for weight decay. So instead of mixing the weight decay penalty right in with the gradient calculation, Adam W decouples it. It does its adaptive gradient step first, and then, as a totally separate action, it just subtracts a tiny fraction of the weights.
Now, this might seem like a small change, but it had a massive impact. It led to way more effective models that performed better on new data they'd never seen, and they trained more reliably. And that's why, for years, Adam W became the undisputed go-to standard for pretty much all deep learning tasks.
So, for decades, you have humans carefully, meticulously refining these optimizers, adding all these clever tricks from physics and math. But the next big revolutionary breakthrough, it wasn't designed by a human at all.
And this is where the story gets really wild. Researchers at Google basically gave an AI a mission. They told it to search through this vast universe of mathematical possibilities to discover a better optimizer. And the AI found one. They named it Lion. Lion's real power is in its stunning simplicity. Instead of all those complex calculations in Adam W, Lion does something totally radical. It just looks at the sign of the momentum. Is it positive or is it negative? That's it. This turns the update into a super simple choice for every parameter in the model. Move up by a set amount or move down by a set amount. This surprisingly simple idea has some profound benefits. It's way more memory efficient, which is absolutely critical when you're training these massive models. It's faster too, with about a 2 to 15% speed up in runtime. And get this,
That simple sign function actually acts as a kind of built-in regulation, which helps the model generalize better. Pretty cool, right?
But okay, the real question is, how does this AI-discovered optimizer actually stack up against the reigning human design champion, AdamW? Let's take a look at the results.
For language models, the results are pretty striking. On these graphs, you see Lion, in blue, consistently hitting a lower error rate than AdamW, in orange. And that error rate, what we call perplexity, it just measures how well the model predicts the next word. So Lion gets to a better score, and it gets there in far fewer steps. In some cases, it basically doubles the training efficiency.
And that advantage holds up when you're fine-tuning massive language models like T5. Just look at the table. Across every single model scale, from the base version all the way up to the enormous 11 billion parameter model, Lion consistently gets a higher average performance score than AdamW.
And it's not just about language. In the world of image generation, it is the exact same story. These graphs show Lion getting better results on key quality metrics, like how well the image actually matches the text prompt. And not only are the final images better, Lion gets there 2.3 times faster than AdamW. That's a huge deal.
So, what does all this mean for the future of AI? What's the big picture here? The main takeaway from this incredible evolutionary leap? It means massive, almost unbelievable gains in efficiency. I mean, for one enormous image dataset called JFT, using Lion slashed the total pre-training compute cost by a factor of 5. That is a gigantic saving in time, energy, and money, and it makes large-scale AI way more accessible to everyone.
And that brings us right back to our opening question. You see, as AI starts to design its own fundamental tools for learning, it's not just a tool for discovery anymore, it's becoming a partner in it. And that leaves us with a really profound thought about the future of science itself.